Hey everyone, welcome back to the course. So in the last video we talked about who I am as your instructor. Again, my name is Ken Underhill and I'll be teaching this course. We also talked about the course structure overall and some of our objectives, which one of those was understanding the differences between the OWASP Top 10 2013 list and the 2017 list. So in this video we're going to actually talk about those differences. So a quick pre-assessment question here. Jennifer works as a cybersecurity engineer, and she's been tasked with presenting an overview of the OWASP Top 10 2017 to the Vice President of Technology. She knows that which of the following is not on the 2017 OWASP Top 10 list. So which one of those is that? All right, so if you guessed answer B, cross-site request forgery, that one is no longer on the list. That was removed off, and we'll talk about that in this particular video. And then of course injection, XXE, and cross-site scripting. We've already talked about those being on the list and we'll talk about those as well. So our learning objectives for this particular video, we're going to talk about what OWASP is and have a better understanding of that. And then as I mentioned, we'll list out the 2017 objectives for the OWASP Top 10, and then we'll talk about the differences between the two. So what is OWASP? What is this all about? Is it actually a type of B or something like that? The answer is no. It stands for the Open Web Application Security Project. So the OWASP Foundation was founded in the early 2000s, and the whole premise or the whole goal here is to improve web application security. So it's basically fostering a community of security professionals, regular individuals, organizations, companies, to all come together to try to make web applications more secure. It's been very successful, and that's why OWASP keeps coming out with the top 10 list to help organizations stay more secure. Now, of course, you'll always have some company that doesn't want to follow along with things and do things the right way, but overall, at least here in the United States, most organizations try to keep the best practices in place. So our OWASP Top 10 for 2017, and again, these are just the modules that we're covering in this course, but this is a specific listing from OWASP. So we've got A1, which is injection, A2, broken authentication, A3, sensitive data exposure, A4, XML external entities, or as I mentioned before, commonly called XXE, A5, broken access control, A6, security misconfiguration, A7 is our cross-site scripting, or XSS, which you commonly will see it listed as. A8 is insecure deserialization. We'll talk about what that actually means. A9, using components with known vulnerabilities, and then finally, is A10. So what are the differences? Well, what has changed between 2013 and 2017? Besides the fact that I got 4 years older in that time period, we've had some different changes. So with what OWASP did is they basically retired, as I mentioned before, the cross-site request forgery one. So that was removed, basically because a lot of frameworks not used nowadays include defenses against that particular attack. And so now it's not really found a lot. I think the number from OWASP was around 5% or so, that they were finding it in about 5% of applications. So again, not something extremely relevant, still a risk, right? But not extremely relevant to the grand scheme of things. Also, they merged the previous, it was A4 2013 and then also A7 2013. So they merged insecure direct object references as well as missing function level access control. They merged both of those into the broken access control, or the A5 one. And then they also removed the unvalidated redirects and forwards, which was back in 2013. That was the A10 in there. And again, that was another one like cross-site request forgery that was found in a very minuscule amount. So basically about 8% or so of applications. So it was still somewhat relevant, but it was slightly edged out by the XXE, which has been added in. So as I mentioned, XXE has been added in, or the XML external entities. So the A4, that's a new category here in 2007 or for the 2017. Also A8, the insecure deserialization, that was added, as well as the A10, the insufficient logging and monitoring. Again, that's something that we want to make sure we address with organizations, is insufficient logging and monitoring, because you can look at stuff all day long, you can log stuff all day long, but if you're not monitoring it, if you don't have alerts in place, it's kind of irrelevant to even do that, right? And we'll talk about all that when we get to those individual modules. So just one quick post-assessment question here. Hopefully to test your knowledge if you were paying attention. Where does injection fall on the OWASP Top 10 from 2017? All right, so if you guessed answer C, number one, you are correct. So again, A1 is what they call it, or number one. That's the top one on the particular list for the top 10 of 2017. Again, injection attacks are very, very common, especially SQL injection attacks. You'll see those a lot if you look around, if you're in cybersecurity at all, or if you're even just looking at the media, you'll see every so often they'll come out with a story about how some attacker used a SQL injection attack to cause chaos. All right, so in this video, we just talked about the differences between the OWASP 2013 top 10 list and the 2017 top 10 list. In the next video, we're going to jump into Module 2, which is going to be talking all about our injection vulnerabilities and attacks.